While waiting for the bus, I suddenly noticed an elderly woman in a wheelchair who had accidentally gotten one of her wheels stuck on the road. I immediately walked over to help. Then, the elderly woman smiled and thanked me, but she hadn't gone far before the wheelchair got stuck again. Seeing that the bus had already left, I decided to help the elderly woman and walk her home. At this moment, the elderly woman called her family and said a kind-hearted person was bringing her home. Hearing this, I felt a genuine warmth in my heart. Along the way, I didn't think much, only feeling that the road was bumpy, winding, and full of steep slopes. Thinking about her being alone, elderly, and having such a hard time, my heart truly ached for her. She kept thanking me and asked if I liked dogs, mentioning that her Pomeranian had just given birth to a litter and she could give me one. I was delighted to hear that, but upon arriving at her doorstep, I grew somewhat fearful. This elderly woman actually lived in an abandoned building. She then took out her phone and asked her family, with a slightly scolding tone, why they hadn't come down to meet her yet, instructing them to bring a puppy down for me. She then asked me to push her toward the elevator, and I hesitated for a moment. At that point, she asked if I looked down upon such an environment. I shook my head and had no choice but to reluctantly wheel her to the elevator entrance. The abandoned building was dilapidated, and the air felt stale. My heart began beating faster and faster. Just as I was about to leave, having wheeled her to the elevator entrance, she took out her phone again and asked me to choose a puppy to take home. But as she swiped through the screen, I accidentally caught a glimpse of a photo where she was sitting cross-legged, looking very relaxed. Watching the elevator descend floor by floor, my anxiety grew stronger. All I wanted was to turn and leave, but suddenly, I realized she was holding onto the strap of my backpack. As the elevator reached the first floor, I had no choice but to abandon my backpack and run. To my shock, the elderly woman stood up and pushed me to the ground. The elevator doors opened, revealing several burly men inside. I scrambled to my feet and desperately sprinted toward the exit. Just as I was about to escape, a hand shot out from the doorway, covering my mouth and dragging me back inside.